Noah declared he'd remain in the border city to grow stronger with his team. After hearing all Noah had to say, Reza conceded she understood, but then pointed out that Noah could stay under 2 conditions. First, Reza firmly declared that Noah had to stay 100% maidenless. Not a single plot would be developed, a condition that made Nino and Kruta wildly uncomfortable. For the second condition, Reza insisted Noah had to land 1 clean hit on her by any means necessary. Seeing Noah's waning confidence, Reza added that succeeding would grant him permission to stay and keep his whereabouts secret from their other sisters. When Noah suggested slaying a monster instead, Reza rejected the idea, stating she wanted to gauge his strength firsthand. Panicking, Noah reminded her they'd dueled countless times without him ever landing a hit, a truth Reza confirmed before asking if he'd rather return home. After deep contemplation, Noah resolutely declared he'd take the challenge, astonishing Reza, who marveled that her little brother no longer feared her. With the duel set, Reza asked Loga if he knew a secluded spot away from public eyes, and when Loga affirmed he did, Reza tossed him a bag filled with gold coins and requested he book it. Reza announced the duel would occur in 3 days, and then challenged Noah to show her all he'd learned in the city, to which Noah confidently vowed he wouldn't lose. Hours later, the team, alongside Reza, returned to the guild, and Avolt, the guild master, thanked Reza for accepting his invitation to assist. Avolt also remarked that he'd never imagined a demon capable of summoning a hydra had breached the human realm, and then pointed out that something sinister might be happening in the demon world. With that, Avolt promptly directed Lumilia to report the matter to headquarters, which she hurriedly left to do. After Lumilia departed, Avolt expressed gratitude to the entire team for their courage and resolve in safeguarding the people. Later that night, Loga reminded Noah of his visit to Barg's shop the next day, and when Noah asked if they were tagging along, Loga shut it down quickly, saying they had urgent business. Following this, Reza inquired if she could crash at Noah's place that night, claiming she'd forgotten to book a room. In reply, Noah said he'd need to check with the innkeeper, but Reza insisted it'd be enjoyable, even suggesting they bathe together like old times. However, Kruta objected, swiftly grabbed Noah, and declared that, siblings or not, she wouldn't permit it. Reza instantly got pissed and started to reach for her blade, but when Noah intervened, proposing they secure her a room through the guild instead, Reza fumed and vowed that at their duel, she would beat him so badly, he would leave in a stretcher. The next morning at Barg's workshop, Noah couldn't shake Reza's threat, which left him visibly rattled. Meanwhile, Barg, after verifying Noah had completed the monster tortoiseshell request, decided to check out his muscles like a creep for any growth since their last encounter. But mid-check, Barg noticed Noah was kinda uneasy and demanded to know what the problem was. Hesitantly, Noah confided about his duel with Reza, surprising Barg, who demanded to know how Noah got himself entangled in a match with the kingdom's most feared swordsman. Noah admitted he couldn't elaborate, saying it had sparked in a heated moment. But Barg blamed his reckless action on Gen Z's terrible decision-making skills, and then promised to help Noah defeat Reza. Sometime later, the team met up with Noah at Barg's workshop. But upon seeing them, Noah was shocked and wondered why, in the world, they looked like they had a street fight with Baki. When he learned they'd trained with Reza, Noah, shocked, demanded to know why they would even do something so reckless. Nino explained it was for his duel in 3 days. Kruta interjected, revealing they'd hoped to land a hit and uncover Reza's weaknesses for Noah to exploit. But instead, Reza beat all of them up like thieves, proving she had 0 weakness. Stunned that the team went to such lengths for him, Noah listened as Kruta admitted she'd even pulled out every adventure trick she had, only to still get clapped and confirm Reza's perfection as a swordsman. Excitedly, Noah proclaimed that if his sword alone wouldn't suffice, he'd find other ways to beat Reza. Just then, Barg burst in, carrying 2 wooden boxes, which he later unveiled as weapons crafted to help Noah for the duel. When Noah complained that he had no idea how to use the weapons, Nino volunteered to assist, and Loga also offered to teach Noah his shield techniques. Curious, Noah asked if adventurers could share such valuable skills, to which Kruta replied that without his arrival in the border city, they'd likely be dead, adding they'd do anything to ensure his victory. Loga chimed in, stating the most crucial reason, and before he could finish, Nino completed it, saying they wanted to keep adventuring with him. The following morning, as training began, Reza slipped into the training ground, disguised, to spy on the team. As the training commenced, Nino lectured Noah on throwing darts like a true assassin, explaining that he simply needed to guide their trajectory. Nino showcased this by launching 3 darts at a tree, but they curved mid-flight and headed straight for Loga, who stood ready with his shield. With a deft shield technique, Loga subtly redirected the darts, sending them crashing into the target and shattering it completely. Noah marveled at the display, but Kruta promptly began her lesson without delay. Kruta informed Noah that her technique, blade-shaped mana, required constantly infusing a blade with mana, which would lose form without sufficient practice. Demonstrating, Kruta taught Noah to maintain the mana blade's shape and was surprised when Noah mastered it perfectly, a skill that had taken her 3 days to learn. Cranking up the difficulty, Kruta blindfolded Noah, locked him in a chokehold, and then tasked him with sustaining the blade's shape under pressure. Watching Noah get manhandled by Kruta, Reza, who was still spying, grew intensely jealous. Her anger flared further when she noticed Noah seemed to enjoy getting manhandled by Kruta and was smiling hard like he had just struck gold. This sight made Reza realize it had been ages since she'd seen Noah laugh so freely. Back home, all Noah ever did with her was train relentlessly. Clenching her fists in regret, Reza finally acknowledged that for years, she'd treated Noah like a punching bag with a pulse. Observing Noah's joy with the team, Reza couldn't help but question if he even needed her anymore. Later that night, in a plush hotel, Reza took off her plot armor, ready for a bath, while reflecting on how the guild had funded the luxury stay just to persuade her. Amid rising demon activity, the guild had enlisted Reza as a sword master, though she worried her presence might stir trouble. Submerged in the steamy tub, Reza couldn't stop thinking about Noah and her plan to bring him home. A month had passed since Noah left, and she struggled to believe that in that time, he'd vanquished a demon and fearlessly challenged her to a duel. No longer could Reza dismiss Noah as a talentless piece of trash. Clearly, he had surpassed the average swordsman. Before, Noah lacked spirit and confidence, yet Reza couldn't pinpoint how he'd gained both in just a little time. Gazing at her reflection in the water, Reza yearned to shower Noah with kindness and affection. Suddenly, something clicked in her brain. Reza reasoned that Noah's rapid growth and boldness couldn't have emerged in a mere month, unless Kruta played a role. Reza suspected Noah's newfound confidence was just a way to show off in front of Kulta. Reza even theorized that Noah's bold dual acceptance stemmed from a desire to impress Kruta and an attempt to riz her up. Irritated, Reza emerged from the bath, dressed, and gripped her sword, resolved to make Noah see clearly during their duel. Determined, Reza vowed to treat Noah with more gentleness and care this time. While shadow training with her blade, Reza decided to teach Noah properly this time and aimed to reclaim his love and affection gradually. The day of the duel finally arrived, and Noah resolved to battle with all his might. While sitting on a bustling street, Loga handed him a sandwich, which Noah devoured and found delicious. Loga assured him the sandwich was packed with enough fuel to survive the absolute demolition Reza was about to serve him. Then, Loga suggested they visit a brothel to replace his lost ball energy after the duel. But before Noah could even consider this nonsense, Kruta and Nino tag-teamed as the ultimate cockblockers, threatening to snitch to Reza if he kept trying to corrupt Noah's innocent soul. After a quick lunch and drinks, Noah felt refreshed and invigorated, so Loga guided them to the duel's venue. Upon reaching the building, the team stepped inside and was stunned to discover the place resembled an average rundown bar. Suddenly, though, Noah heard an ominous rumbling from a sketchy door in the corner and nearly soiled his boxers in fear, as he suspected Reza was the source. Loga clarified that the door led to the bar's renowned underground ring, and as they descended, Logwa explained that the underground ring was once an arena for brutal, bloody spectacles, but was abandoned when the owners went broke. Arriving at the underground arena, Noah instantly spotted Reza awaiting him, and the two locked eyes. With a steely glare, Reza declared it was time, adding that she'd wield a wooden sword to avoid wrecking the city with her strikes. Before the long-anticipated duel began, Loga, acting as referee, outlined the rules. He specified that the match was a single round with no time limit, and it would only end if Nea landed a single hit on Reza, or if Nea became incapacitated without having landed a strike. In both cases, either Noah wins or Reza wins. As both fighters assumed their stances, Loga signaled the duel's start. Reza wasted no time charging at Noah with the intent of knocking some sense into him, but as she swung her wooden blade with stunning force, an explosion erupted. Surprisingly, she saw Noah still standing, unfazed. At that moment, Noah took off his cloak and proclaimed he'd face Reza with all he'd mastered as an adventurer. In retort, Reza scoffed, called him cute, and then reminded him that she wasn't some novice he could beat with gimmicks. Noah countered that he figured, and that was why he had prepared a special finishing move just for her. Noah immediately launched a single flash attack. Reza barely blinked. She could tell he had slapped some flying strike mana onto his blade, but she dodged it so effortlessly and then clashed blades with Noah fiercely. Noah anticipated her dodge, yet he also noticed Reza moved unusually sluggish compared to her typical crackhead speed. Sensing an opportunity with her slowed pace, Noah seized the chance to strike again. This time, he unleashed a flurry of multiple strikes, but Reza merely danced through them. Frustrated, Noah ignited his blade with flames, thinking he'd finally burn through Reza's wooden sword, only to grow anxious when it remained unscathed. Impressed, Reza praised Noah's fiery assault, yet she casually remarked she'd show him what an actual flame looked like. Without delay, Reza conjured a mighty claw of fire, instantly giving Noah a nightmare. With the ferocious power of the flames, Reza struck, clashing blades with Noah, and the sheer force shattered the ground beneath them, stunning everyone. Struggling under the attack's weight, Noah couldn't understand how Reza could be so insanely strong. Amid the strain, Reza warned Noah she'd unleash a similar blow, and realizing another hit of that magnitude would send him straight to the wheelchair, Noah borrowed Kruta's bladeless technique, creating a makeshift mana shield that absorbed just enough of the attack to keep his skeleton intact. Meanwhile, from the sidelines, Loga curiously asked how Reza's wooden sword withstood Noah's fire. In response, Kruta speculated that Reza likely reinforced her wooden sword with mana. Back to the fight, Reza commended Noah's newfound strength and then stated that it was their first true head-on clash. Prompted by this, Noah demanded to know the importance of the duel, to which Reza replied that the outside world was dangerous. Reza recalled their earlier battle with the Hydra demon, and then explained to Noah that returning home with her would ensure his safety under her and their sister's protection. Just then, the team rallied, chanting for Noah to stand firm and remain strong. Noah, on the other hand, realized that the duel would not be truly won, even if he managed to land a blow on Reza. Instead, Noah understood he needed to convince Reza that, despite the world's dangers, he could face them with his friends by his side. Noah told Reza that he appreciated her concern, but then firmly declared he wouldn't return home with her. Immediately after, Noah challenged Reza to use her signature move, mentioning she'd only shown him the secret technique once. When Reza questioned if he was certain, Noah asserted that if he could withstand it and also managed to land a hit, Reza would have no choice but to acknowledge him with all her heart. Reluctantly, Reza consented, and suddenly, the ground quaked as she activated the quadruple divine sword formation, splitting into 4 versions of herself. Noah recalled that his face had swelled the first time he faced Reza, splitting into 4. According to his sister Seal, this quadrupling was Reza's kinky. When Noah inquired about what a kinky was, Seal explained that it was a power focused on physical enhancement, the ultimate technique for self-division. Seal had cautioned Noah that the clones weren't illusions but real entities. In essence, he'd be battling 4 sword masters at once. Back in the present, Noah felt certain that with Reza employing this technique, he couldn't possibly lose. Although Reza trusted her skill, Noah recognized that the quadruple divine sword formation, while formidable and a single hit by just one of the clones, would put him down. It slowed Reza considerably. Confidently, Noah prepared to exploit this flaw and defeat her. Noah initiated his assault by adopting Nino's blade-throwing technique. He launched 4 mana blades at Reza and her clones, following up with a single flash. But Reza and her doppelgangers evaded and charged at him in retaliation. Yet, Noah smiled, aware that with Reza and her clones engaging up close, they'd entered his striking range. Just as they attacked in unison, Loga instinctively shut his eyes, unwilling to witness his bro's defeat. At that moment, however, Noah unleashed a flame strike from above, catching Reza off guard. Swiftly, Noah redirected the fiery assault, and realizing she'd be hit, Reza grabbed one of her doppelgangers to shield herself. Undeterred, Noah deployed 4 blade smoke bombs, hurling them with precision at Reza. Though they missed, the bombs detonated, cloaking the arena in a smoky haze that obscured Reza's vision, and in that instant, she lost track of Noah. Unbeknownst to her, Noah had slipped right behind her. Before delivering his blow, he thanked Reza for her unwavering care and expressed his love, leaving her stunned. Ultimately, Noah landed a hit, which Reza blocked with her hand. Nevertheless, a hit was a hit, so Reza praised his effort, sparking elation in Noah and his team for winning the duel. Kruta, Nino, and Loga, tears of joy streaming, rushed to embrace Noah, thrilled that he'd remain with them as an adventurer. Turning around, however, Noah noticed Reza slumped on the floor, visibly dejected. Approaching her, Noah urged Reza to stop sulking. Yet, as she sifted sand with her hand, Reza demanded to know how Noah was able to distinguish her true self from her doppelgangers, to which Noah replied that he relied on his little brother's intuition. Skeptically, Reza insisted her clones were flawless, but with a grin, Noah reassured her that, as her little brother, he could always tell. Throwing a tantrum like a brat, Reza shouted that she wouldn't accept a duel decided by mere intuition and then insisted on a rematch. Firmly, Noah countered that no amount of whining would grant her one. With her head bowed in sorrow, Reza asked if Noah no longer needed her presence. Before Noah could answer, Reza explained that her strictness over the years was aimed at strengthening him. But now, sensing his growth, she feared he'd reject a nagging older sister. Tearfully, Reza added that even when Noah had professed his love during the duel, it felt like a ploy just to lower her guard, and she doubted if he could truly love a harsh sister. But just then, Noah enveloped Reza in a hug from behind, affirming she was his cherished sister, of whom he was proud. He emphasized that, despite not sharing blood, they were family, and he'd always want her near. As tears rolled down her face, Reza pleaded for him to come home, but Noah released her, stepped forward, and gently told her that a time to leave the nest had arrived, and it was now. Just then, Kruta interjected, offering her perspective, suggesting Reza could visit Noah anytime, as he wasn't blasting off to Mars in an Elon Musk spaceship. Noah agreed, noting that Kruta's logic made sense, and after finally putting her dusty brain to use, Reza eagerly realized she could drop by whenever she pleased. With that realization, Reza consented to Noah staying in the border city, pursuing his adventurer life, and growing stronger. Overjoyed, Kruta beamed, prompting Noah to invite her to his party, which she accepted with an enthusiastic hug. Yet, as Kruta smooched Noah, Reza shot them a soul-piercing death glare and then reminded Noah of not planting his sword in anyone's scabbard, to which Noah quickly assured her he was keeping it zipped and unloaded. The next day, Noah was out on the street, contemplating whether to swing by Barg's workshop, when he froze in shock upon seeing Reza carrying a massive sack like a powerhouse. Curiously, Noah asked why she'd returned to the border city after leaving the previous night, and Reza replied that she'd come back to see him. Intrigued, Noah pressed her about the enormous bag's contents, to which Reza gleefully revealed she was moving into a house she'd bought there, leaving Noah dumbfounded. When Noah questioned if she intended to relocate, Reza confirmed her relocation plans, stating she'd be staying for at least half a month. Meanwhile, back at the Windstar Castle, Noah's other sisters were holding their second family strategy meeting. Seated at the grand table were Seal, the fourth sister, Fem, the third, Ecclesia, the fifth, and Alia, the eldest. Puzzled, Alia demanded to know why Reza was absent from the gathering. Infuriated, Alia shouted, demanding to know why Reza skipped a crucial meeting about their beloved brother's future. Seal interjected, explaining that Reza had been summoned by the Adventurers Guild, which prevented her attendance. In response, Alia retorted that Reza was no adventurer and could have declined, especially since they'd scheduled the reconvening. Fem chimed in, noting that while finding Noah was paramount, a Hydra had apparently emerged in the border city. Still, Alia insisted Reza could have slain the Hydra and returned home on time. Abruptly, Ecclesia cut in, revealing they had even graver reasons to worry than Reza's absence. Ecclesia disclosed that her intelligence network suggested the border city was a prime location where Noah might be. This sparked panic in Seal and Ecclesia, but Fem rose and declared she'd issue a decree as the Empire's saint and summon the Holy Army. Fem clarified that this army comprised the world's mightiest soldiers who rallied under her name. Furthermore, Fem added that with the army's aid, they could eliminate the Hydra and locate Noah in the process. However, Fem cautioned that since the other sisters lacked combat training, they'd designate Seal to lead the search. Accepting the task, Seal acknowledged her initial failure to stop Noah as the root of the problem and vowed to bring Noah home by all means necessary and shower him with affection. Meanwhile, in a forest on the border city's outskirts, the team collectively tackled a monstrous ogre, with Noah delivering the final blow, a water strike and a single flash that reduced it to mere chunks. Later, as the girls bathed and kept praising Noah for his impressive effort in defeating the ogre, Reza arrived and cringed at the sight of slime on the ground. She yelled for someone to eliminate it with fire, prompting Noah to volunteer, incinerating it with magic before suggesting they head back since the night was falling. Sometime later, as a light rain began to fall, a mysterious girl appeared at the site where Noah's team had dispatched the ogre. Observing the ogre's corpse, she noted signs of fighting multiple people and figured it best to report the matter to the masted Kurdian. Additionally, she deduced that the swordsman responsible, capable of defeating the ogre in one clean strike, must be a master. Suddenly, her gaze landed on the charred slime. This somehow excited her like a freak as she vowed to share her blood with the slime. Slitting her hand, she scooped up the burnt slime and pressed it to her wound, watching it swirl up her arm. With a chilling resolve, she swore that once the slime fully healed, they'd together teach humanity the meaning of true terror. The following day at the guild, the team submitted the ogre molars from their completed mission at the receptionist's desk to claim their reward. Suddenly, Noah alerted Lumilia to a minor issue with the mission's details. He noted that the monster's location in the guild's preliminary information was inaccurate. In response, Lumilia explained that, recently, monsters had been moving in unprecedented ways, making it challenging for the guild to pinpoint their exact positions. Consequently, Lumilia informed Noah that monster experts, known as monsterologists, would soon visit the guild to investigate the phenomenon. Upon hearing this, however, the team panicked. When Noah asked who these monsterologists were, Loga clarified they were the Adventurers Guild Research Institute tasked with studying monster ecology. But then, Logwa cautioned that they were a bunch of super-cultured monster maniacs. To elaborate, Nino revealed they'd once coerced her into dressing as a wyvern and tossed her into a nest to mimic its young. Kruta added that they'd forced her to confront an ogre with no melon cover. However, Lumilia concluded by assuring Noah that, despite their oddities, the monsterologists had crafted a monster encyclopedia instrumental to the guild's success. Shortly afterwards, the team entered a restaurant for lunch and encountered Reza, who insisted on joining them. Loga and Nino didn't mind, but Kruta firmly objected, arguing they'd come to unwind as a party and an outsider's presence would hinder that. Noah supported Kruta, agreeing that Reza's company might disrupt their team bonding. Irritated, Reza declared her intent to join the party. However, Noah reminded her she wasn't an adventurer and thus ineligible. Even Nino and Loga opposed her inclusion, citing her overwhelming strength might overshadow their roles. Still, Reza would not back down and started to drag Noah with Kruta, who insisted on having a talk with Noah on their way home, just the two of them alone. But just then, Loga cut through the commotion, announcing they all needed to be at the guild early the next morning. Thus, the next morning outside the guild, Noah handed the day's request to Loga. Loga clarified it wasn't a mission, but a preliminary investigation tasked by the guild. Specifically, Loga explained it required them to conduct their own inquiry before the monsterologists arrived. Additionally, Loga noted that monster research was often extensive, so the guild enlisted adventurers to assist. Kruta interjected, pointing out that fulfilling such requests boosted adventurer ranks. With that, the team agreed to take on the task. Noah reviewed the request letter and informed the team that their goal was to investigate mana at a specific site. The team reacted with surprise when he revealed the location, the Valley of Razgau. When Noah demanded to know why they looked so surprised, Kruta explained that the valley was a treacherous, densely packed area with poor footing, rarely chosen for research quests. As a result, she noted that Loga and his low-budget Captain America shield couldn't join them there. Just as Loga bid farewell, Nino suddenly recalled Kruta's earlier cafeteria comment about a private talk with Noah, so she also backed out of the quest, claiming she had something important to take care of. As Noah tried persuading Nino to reconsider, Reza appeared out of nowhere, announcing her desire to join the party. When Noah reminded her she wasn't an adventurer, Reza flashed an F-rank provisional adventurer's card from Avalt, proving she was now an adventurer. Reluctantly, Noah permitted her to join, and without delay, Reza approached Kruta, boldly declaring that during the quest, they'd discover whom Noah liked the most. Will Noah's other sisters eventually find him in the border city and drag him back home? Comment, sisters love, if you're eager to find out in our part 2. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't